Industry Insider coming to you from the Judith Wright Centre here at Bigsound 2013, and joining me, Stuart Johnston, President of the Canadian Independent Music Association. How are you?
I'm great. It's good to be here. Thanks.
Thanks for coming down. I know you'd be absolutely just jam-packed with your schedule, I would imagine.
So far, I've only been here 24 hours, 26 hours, just got over the jet lag. But yeah, it's been a pretty amazing experience.
Yeah.
Australian hospitality is second to none.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad we've welcomed you here with open arms. Is it first time in Brisbane?
First time in Australia.
First time in Australia.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Seems to be a lot of that happening now with these conferences, especially the people that Bigsound are bringing over. We're getting more and more people like yourself, representative of large governing bodies in music.
Sure.
Finally getting to the country for the first time.
Well, we're seeing that worldwide. I mean, with my organization, we act in the capacity of an export office too for music. We did 26 events in 18 countries last year, and as I said, this is the first time in Australia. We have to be around the world. It's a global product, it's a global market, and Australia is an extremely important market for us.
Yeah. Well, I guess a lot of people say we're all very similar in culture. Would you agree?
We are. I was at a panel session this morning, and Chuggy was in it. Millie Milgate was one of the panelists.
Did Chuggy behave himself?
Amazingly so, he did.
Yeah?
He did.
Right.
Didn't cuss too many times, but he
Yeah.
got a few across. But the point is, every time they said Australia, I could have substituted the word Canada.
Yeah.
Very parallel.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Yeah. Now, how was the panel? What was the, what was the end result in the discussion?
Well, the themes meandered quite a bit, but it essentially went on to the fact that, it is a global market. Independent artists are, if not necessarily exploiting their domestic market, they have opportunities around the world, which is extremely important. That technology is both an enabler for that to happen, and also it can be a bit of a hindrance for many reasons.
Yeah.
Commercial radio, same within Canada, rarely plays the emerging artists,
Yeah.
but the college circuit and the independent radio stations are so important to our ecosystem to get exposure and the discovery of new music. So it's very similar to Canada.
Yeah, it's an interesting. Well, it's just a very interesting thing to think about because it's such a big country and it's so diverse in its music.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for instance, I've met artists like Saida, who's playing your Canadian Blast Showcase.
That's right.
One of your artists.
Yep.
She's that blues, soul, rock, and then you got other people like Bedouin and Soundclash.
Yes.
And I met some guys recently. The Kensington Hillbillies, who play Clash covers in a country style from Canada.
Right.
So I mean, the love for music and the diversity is just absolutely incredible.
Well, it is. We're extremely diverse, as you're saying.
Yeah.
We've got everything from, prog rock to folk to singer-songwriter to indie rock and pop. You name it, we've got it. And we're saying that Australia is very similar too. We go back and forward, being the 6th and 7th largest music consumers in the world. So sometimes we're 6th, sometimes we're 7th, but we jump back and forth with Australia.
Yeah. All right. Look, and I don't think there's any competition there because we help each other out anyway.
That's right. That's it.
Now, tell me a little bit more about the Canadian Independent Music Association and how it operates and what it does to facilitate for music in Canada.
Well, we're the trade association for the independent community in Canada, and we started in 1971, officially in 75. So I think we were the first independent trade association in the world to start. And so we focus on indie labels and managers, the business side of the independent music community. We're largely an advocate for that community to make sure that government knows what our issues are and who we are, and that we have the appropriate business climate in which to operate. But we also offer a number of services, not the least of which is music exporting. So in the last several years, 7 or 8 years, we've really ramped up our global presence, much like Sounds Australia does and others. And we work with folks like Sounds Australia in this market and in Reeperbahn in Germany and South by Southwest all over the world. And so we help facilitate opportunities for our businesses.
Yeah. How's the relationship with Millie Milgate and now the newest addition, Glenn Dickey, in Sounds Australia? What's the relationship being like?
It couldn't be better.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier we're not in competition. We're not.
Yeah.
We help each other out. We make sure our people are introduced to her people and vice versa. I mean, we're all in it together. We know that it's such an interactive and combined ecosystem that we live, that there's no competition really. I mean, it's all about the music. and maybe our business people can help her artists, maybe her business people can help our artists.
Okay.
So it's a wonderful relationship, and not just here, all around the world.
Yeah. Stuart, tell us a little bit more about how you actually got to the point of being president. Let's talk about your career a little bit. You said you're a journalist, and we were actually talking about, and I hope this doesn't jinx me again, but we were talking about not having sound during an interview recorded, and you were saying, yeah, I was a journalist and I did that once over an hour interview, but is that where you started off in journalism?
Well, sort of. I mean, it's kind of weird the way my career went. I've only been in this job for 2.5 years. The last 16, 17 years, I worked as an executive in the Chamber of Commerce network in Canada. So I came from a business-oriented background doing government relations and policy work for those guys.
Yeah.
But for the first 10 years of my career, I was a journalist. And ironically, I started writing about the music community in Toronto.
Yeah.
And then I segued into other kinds of writing and other kinds of journalism after that. So my career has kind of come full circle back to a place that I love and a place that I'd hoped my career had gone many years ago.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Now let's have what I'm really excited about is the Canadian Blast Showcase. What a great name for a start.
Yeah, thank you.
Can we have you want to have a chat about the artist on the lineup and tell us who you've brought over?
Sure. Well, we got Sydney York.
Yeah.
We've got Yukon Blonde. We've got the Harpoonist and Axe Murderer, which I love that name.
I love that name.
That's great.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Although they have problems at the border when they go to the U.S. We also have, of course, your favorite enemy, and you mentioned Saïda Baba Taliba.
Yeah. 5
completely different acts from 3 different regions in Canada, our West Coast, Ontario, and Montreal. We've got prog rock. Your favorite enemy, they just classify themselves as noise rock, sort of that post-punk noise rock.
Yeah.
Not noisy, but noise rock. It's great. Saïda is that jazz-infused, sexy, soulful kind of music. Sydney York is that folk, and it's kind of hard to describe Sydney York's music, but it's amazing. And of course, Yukon Blonde and Harper, the Harpoonist and the Axe Murderer, which is a great blues band duo. They are absolutely amazing. We're very proud of the Canadians that we bring over, and it's again, there's so much similarity between the Aussie music and the Canadian music that it really is interchangeable.
Yeah. Now, forgive me if I did miss it last year. Did you have a showcase here last year?
No.
So this is the first year you've showcased it?
Probably Canadian Music Week would have had a showcase or two. They've been here for a few years, but as a Canadian Blast, as our music export missions, our trade missions, this is the first time we've been able to do it. And you can thank Asho for his tenacity.
Yeah.
He's been working hard for the last little while to get the Canadians over in as a delegation. He's done it.
Well, you know, we had a chat to him a couple of weeks ago. Well, actually, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, and his last week as the executive programmer. So I think that's probably one of his parting gifts. But I think Bigsound in its 12th year and doing so well is just a parting gift anyway. And Nico Byrne stepping into the role now from Australian Independent Record Label Association is.
He'll do a hell of a job.
Yeah,
really
everyone is saying that couldn't have picked a better person for the job. So,
right.
Yeah, no, but those guys are great. And it's good to see that the independent associations worldwide are that really help and support each other, because that I've seen panels before where the name for in Australia, the tyranny of distance, really does, that distance for Australia really has not helped a lot.
I hear that, and at times I see that Aussie acts tend to go to our west coast more than to the central Canada, where Toronto or Montreal is.
Yeah.
I see them more on the west coast, and that's probably to do with travel and familiarity. But I'm telling you, Millie and her team and the businesses and the acts that she supports, they're everywhere we are. So I haven't seen a lack of Aussie presence around the world. So whatever your crew is doing on this side of the pond, keep doing it, because I think you're doing a really good job.
Well, that's a message right there to Millie and Glenn. So guys, if you're watching,
great job.
You've been given the okay.
That's it.
Fantastic. All right, Stuart. Well, I think we'll let you go, mate. And I'm really looking forward to the showcase. And
That'll be great.
We got Canadian beer down there.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I hope we do.
I hope we do too. Well, you're in Australia for your first time. Maybe I'll have to show you the list. Are you up for a beer?
I'm up for several. Let's do it.
All right, fantastic. Stuart Johnston,
Thanks,
thank you so much for joining us here.
Cheers.
President of the Canadian Independent Music Association, and we're here at Bigsound 2013 for Industry Insider.